with you.
Welcome to the Heavy Snacking Podcast. This week our guest is Matt Yankovich from Just Friends and Happy Diving.
For every day that I spend here, there's a deeper thirst for wild soda.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the very first episode of the Heavy Snacking Podcast. I'm Alex, and I'll be your host for this wild journey into music, touring, and food. I'm so excited to get this started. I've been working on this idea since the end of 2017, and I'm psyched that it's finally happening. So without further ado, the Heavy Snacking Podcast is an interview podcast where we talk to touring musicians about their musical history, touring, regional cuisine, and of course, snacks. We're exploring the wild world of fast food, gas station delicacies, and local chains from across the country and even around the world. I'm your host, Alyx Poska, sparkling water connoisseur, snacking specialist, DIY record label owner, and musician with over 10 years experience touring the DIY underground. Every week, we'll be talking to friends, new and old, about their favorite foods, best meals, and wild adventures on the road. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you stick around.
I believe.
This is the first of 2 episodes we're going to drop this week for our podcast premiere extravaganza. Today we got Matt from Just Friends, and later in the week we're going to have Dylan Allard, bassist of J-Som and guitarist of Freak No Hitter. So this is my first episode. Give me a little break here. We got some crackle on my voice. We had some audio issues, but it's going to get better. Don't worry. And of course, we'd like to thank Ehe for letting us use their music in our intro.
Big ol' sound in the half stack.
The Heavy Snacking Podcast is brought to you by Pacific Nature, broadcasting from Orange County, California.
This week, we're talking to Matt Yankovich, guitarist, riff blaster, and solo master of Just Friends and formerly Happy Diving. Matt takes us back to his pop-punk and metalcore roots where he and his brother came up playing in the suburbs of the Bay Area after being uprooted as kids. He takes us back to the days of Happy Diving and tells us about joining Just Friends. We also discuss Orange Sauce, Wawa versus Sheetz, the Route 44 Matt Yanko, and little burrito shacks on the end of Cape Cod. Thank you so much for doing this, Matt. I'm really stoked. And let's get started with your musical history. Like, where did you start playing musical instruments, and how'd you start playing guitar?
All right, cool. So, my dad is not a musician, but my dad is in radio. My dad has been in radio since he was in high school. And so we always grew up constantly listening to radio, being at the radio station, meeting record label people, going to concerts and shit. And especially at first, when I was real young, it was all just my dad was into top 40s radio. So, we would go see, I don't know, there's a picture of me and my brother with Hanson in 1997.
Oh my gosh, dude, yeah, I was all about
somewhere. Bob. Yeah, somewhere. Probably my mom has that picture somewhere. But yeah, I remember one day my dad. So pop punk was a thing, Blink-182 was a thing. They were all over the radio, and we were into that. And my brother, who's about 3 years older than me, he started playing drums when he was probably 10 or 11. And, my dad was like, oh, Blink-182 has this new record and blah, blah, blah. And, so of course he gives the new Blink-182 record to his 10, 12-year-old sons. And, they're talking about fucking and, like, all sorts of shit, and there's just, like, kind of a trip. So anyway, yeah, my brother started playing drums, and when he was in probably, like, 7th grade, so I would have been, like, 4th or 5th grade or something, he got into his first band with his buddies, and because my brother's a couple years older, like I was always like trying to hang out with like the older crowd, like the older kids. And I had some friends that were my age, but like I was, I hung out with my brother and my brother's friends a lot. So he, started his first band in our garage when I was probably about 10. So he was probably like 12 or 13. It was him and 2 of his friends, and they both played guitar, and my brother played drums. And so I got a guitar for, I think, like my 10th birthday or something, maybe a little before. And I started playing, and, pretty quickly I was better than either of the guitarists that were in his band. So I started playing with them, and then, we did like the whole, preteen, adolescent, like, garage band thing. Oh, and that's where are you familiar? Have I told you the story about Poop Fist?
No, I have not heard about Poop Fest.
All right, so are you on your computer?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Just open up Google and Google all one word, Poop Fist.
Poop.
So this is classic. So one day it's probably like 2008. I was naturally as like a 14 or 15-year-old kid, I was scrolling on 4chan. And, I'm just like scrolling through, refreshing or whatever. And all of a sudden I see a picture of myself and my very first band that I was ever in. That my mom took this picture in front of her garage door. And, somehow we had like a MySpace and like some songs and stuff. I guess somehow somebody from 4chan one day found our MySpace, or I don't know how they would have stumbled upon it, but they found our MySpace and like this picture that my mom took in front of our house, and I'm wearing like a Bam Margera t-shirt, and I have like my BC Rich Warlock, and it's super cringy, but they superimposed the band name Poop Fist and like gave us all fake names, and even like went as far as to like make like fake garage band music.
Wow, that is intense.
Yeah, so I am.
So your first band's record is a fake record.
Well, no, like that's the thing. Like that wasn't ever the band. Like we weren't called that. You know what I mean? Like they just like found a picture of us and made up a bunch of bullshit.
So what was this first band's actual name?
I think it was like Gone But Not Forgotten or some. You know what I mean? Like something real corny like that.
Good pop name.
I remember my brother's first band. They were called Breakfast of America, which was like a ripoff of Breakfast in America that's a record by somebody, I don't know who, but yeah, so, and it was just like real early formative, like, we were listening to like early 2000s like pop emo and Blink-182 and then Green Day and then all sorts of shit, like Matchbook Romance, and like that's probably a really weird, obscure reference. Anyway,
well, I mean, that's a pretty classic story. The older brother kind of like helping you get into music.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he played drums and I played guitar, and then we like started playing together. And then 2006, we moved from outside of Seattle to the Bay. We moved to Pleasanton, and that really sucked, because I was 13, my brother was like 16, and it was just like real bad timing. I was going into middle school, and he was in high school and stuff, and he had his first girlfriend, and so when we moved, like our parents were like, all right, well, we fucked our kids' lives up, like, all right, we gotta, so like they were like, all right, we gotta bribe them, so they brought my brother like a new. They didn't like ball out on like super expensive stuff, but like my brother got a drum kit and like some nice cymbals, and I got like a Marshall MG half stack, and I thought I was like a fucking rock god. So it was the red Marshall MG half stack with like the basket weave grill cloth, the one. And yeah, so you know, we kept playing music and kept writing music and stuff. But like around the time that my brother probably like turned like 14 or 15, he got really heavy into like metalcore and like Avenged Sevenfold and like Atreyu and what other bands even did we like? Like that was really it. Like those two bands, and then you know, we were listening to in Seattle, in Auburn, technically, I guess. There's the Green River Community College, and they still have a radio station, like a college radio station, and they do a ton of punk and like emo and stuff, and they play metal and all sorts of stuff. So KGRG was a really formative influence for me. But yeah, you know, we got into all sorts of like alternative and punk and like, you know, metalcore and stuff. So post-hardcore, you know, all that sort of stuff. And like around 2006, 2007, 2008, you know, like you got bands like Job for a Cowboy, and people are suddenly into Pig Squeals and deathcore,
the Chariot and stuff like that.
And then like also simultaneously you got bands like, you know, The Devil Wears Prada and A Day to Remember that are coming up, and like that whole metalcore thing, and then like Attack and the whole scene thing happened, and I was kind of involved in some of that stuff. I was never like we went to a ton of shows
in high school.
I was never a scene kid. I had long hair, but I never like. I really like adamantly like hated like Attack and all that sort of stuff, like the auto-tune stuff. Like I wasn't into it. My brother was super into it. My brother, you know what I mean? Like, not to slam my brother in like a public forum, but like my brother like wanted like, you know, teased hair and shit, and like, you know, he was into it. But yeah, so we played in. So we moved to California, and you know, we started meeting some people, you know, at like school, or you know, we put out like MySpace bulletins and stuff. Like, we're looking for bassists and stuff. We found this kid Steven, who also lived in Pleasanton, and he was in a band. And we had a band name called Last Year's Best, and it was mainly just me and my brother. And we had some songs and stuff. And a friend of ours, Steven, who lived in Hayward, Steven Gonzalez, he played guitar with us for a long time, and we kept that band going until like 2010. And it was kind of, you know, pop punk, post-hardcore. Like, we eventually found a singer. It was this girl, Daleen Crawford, who was actually from Riverside.
She was from Chino Hills, down actually. Here in Southern California.
And she found us on MySpace, and she like came up to hang out with us, like, and like joined our band. It was really weird. It was really cool. She's a great singer. But yeah, like she came into the studio and recorded some songs with us and stuff. We played some shows.
Are you still in contact?
That band. I mean, we're like friends on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. But she's a little bit older. Like at the time, she was like 26 or 27, and I was like 16 or 17. You know, so. Anyway, so the main point where me and my brother, like, you know, we were always like going to. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard like Sam Class talk about like Lucky Pizza and all that sort of stuff. So in Dublin there was
Lucky Pizza,
yeah, there was Lucky Pizza in Dublin, and that was, you know, just the corner pizza shop, and they did hardcore shows and stuff, and metalcore shows and punk shows, and you know, all sorts of shows. And when we first moved to California, we started going there, and that's kind of how we got like involved in DIY. It was just like you went to Lucky Pizza, or you went to you know, there was places in Fremont and places in, you know, there was like the Fremont Teen Center. There were spots in San Jose that did shows.
It's like around what years are these?
So 2000, I think probably my first Lucky Pizza show was 2007.
And then when did Lucky Pizza shows stop?
You know what's funny is we actually played I think the very last Lucky Pizza show, or the second to last Lucky Pizza show. I think that was in 2010.
As Just Friends, or as
No. This is even before that. This was so the American legal system played that show, and then also getting back to like, sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. Like,
no,
the history is a little.
The
history is a little weird because I was involved in a bunch of bands. Like me and my brother were in a bunch of bands. Like
before
over the course of like a year or two. But yeah, so my brother, like I said, he was like super into like the metalcore thing, and there was this band from Fremont called I Shot the Sheriff, and they were like straight like deathcore, you know, like pig squeals and like breakdowns and stuff. And they were like looking for a vocalist at one point, and so my brother like put up like a MySpace like music account with him like doing vocal covers of their songs, and he didn't like end up getting into that band, but this other band from Danville, which if you don't know the area, like Danville, California is super rich, super white, as I'm pretty sure like fairly conservative, so like, you know, as far as
a few
like,
conservative areas in the Bay.
Yeah, just like a super like not where you would expect like a deathcore band to be coming out of, but there was this band called Bleed Before the Skies. It was all caps, all one word, Bleed Before the Skies, and they were like an arsonist, get all the girls like worship band, like really low key tech deathcore. You know, there was like sweeps and like some odd time signatures and stuff. And like some like neoclassical influence shredding and stuff. But anyway, so my brother joined that band doing vocals, like screaming. And then, you know, I came to practice and stuff, and I learned some of the songs on guitar. I filled in on bass for a little while. And then that band broke up. I guess I was technically in that band like in the last 6 months of it. But yeah, so we started like kind of being more involved in the scene because of that band, and we started playing shows with people. And then there was this band called Sink This Ship that my brother joined, and they were like a straight up like attack like synthcore auto-tune. Like singer had like an auto-tune rack unit like on top of the guitar amp and stuff that he played. It was bad. It was unbelievably bad. And you know, around this time we started going to Panda Studios, and we were recording with Sam and stuff. And you know, the guitar players in that band were really bad and like couldn't like play to a click and couldn't play in time or in tune. So like I was just there, so like I would just play the guitar parts, you know.
Yeah, it was like Sam at Panda just like freaking out at them. Doesn't he like freak out at people if they like
yeah. Oh my god, there's
clicks and stuff.
At some point, so Bleed Before the Skies, we recorded at Panda too. That was actually the first time I ever met Sam Pure. It was like 2008. But there's video of hours of like in our sessions that like my brother filmed and put on YouTube of Sam just fucking tearing into Tyler the drummer, just like
my god, going
off on him, and it was hilarious. And it was like totally deserved, but yeah. So you know, it was Sink the Ship at the time, and I was recording guitar for them and stuff, and then they changed the band name to As Artifacts. And I joined that band, and I was in that band for, like 4 years. And this is like simultaneously, like while I was doing the American legal system, and then I guess I joined Just Friends around the same time that I actually quit As Artifacts. But I was like I said, I was never really. Not to like try to like just retain my punk cred, you know, but like I was really never into like the metalcore scene, and like I thought it was all really whack. And,
yeah, I think a lot of people in the DIY scene, or people part of the emo revival and that kind of stuff, they checked out like when metalcore stuff started getting really big.
Right? Yeah, it was like kind of like just like a way for me to like play music and stuff, you know. Like that was the first band I ever toured with. Like did a real tour with, you know what I mean? Like we did, it was like my senior year of high school, it was 2011, and I did like my first like 2-week tour. I had done
where'd you guys go?
It was like a West Coast, Southwest thing. And we were supposed to go out to like the Midwest and like play like Missouri and stuff, but then there was like all the tornadoes and stuff. We were supposed to play I think Joplin, Missouri, is that where it was, where like the tornado like fucked it up and like destroyed the town. So that tour ended up getting like cut a couple days short, but yeah, I mean prior to that, like we had been in other bands that, you know, we would drive up to like Reno, or we would go play a show in like Hemet, or you know, like somewhere in bumfuck like Riverside County, you know, like in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, so As Artifacts was the first real band that I ever toured with, and you know, we did that was the first full US I ever did. We did like a 5-week tour in 2013. We toured a bunch, and like we played some shows, you know what I mean? Like we we were like opening for like Emir and like All Shall Perish, and like we opened for fucking oh man, I can't. It's not Under Oath. They're like a Canadian band, but they're like that sort of. I forget what the fuck.
Is it like Silverstein?
Yeah, Silverstein. We opened for Silverstein.
Gosh.
We opened for Silverstein,
podcast,
like Chunk, Captain Chunk, and just like this shit was so whack. Like I was just like, man, like you know what? Like I'm getting to play these shows, but like this music fucking sucks. All these people fucking suck. Like they're just like normie ass fucking like 27-year-old men with like teased hair and like, you know what I mean? Like. Just like
it was a tough
like
time. It's
just like a super toxic scene, and just like a super like, you know what I mean? Just like everybody sucked. Everybody was like really manipulative and like abusive, and like there was all sorts of shady stuff going down, you know. So yeah, at a certain point, I was just like, all right, I'm piecing the fuck out, like. But yeah, so simultaneously while this was happening, in my senior year of high school, so going back to that band that I was saying that was kind of like the female fronted like pop punk light post hardcore sort of thing. Yeah, the MySpace band. Last Year's Best. So the way that I met Sam Kless is Sam and Ben Gower and Kent Soliday had this band called the American Legal System. And they were from Dublin. They were just like one town over, like right across the freeway. And I recognized Sam from going to Lucky Pizza because, 10, 11 years ago now, Sam was like this short, really skinny, like little kid, the goofy kid who had like this huge, like poofy, like afro type of hair. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He just had the biggest hair on earth, and he would like be doing like backflips and like circle kicking and shit in the pit, and I was just like, that kid's sick as fuck. So anyway, so Last Year's Best was playing a show, and Kent wasn't there, but Ben and Sam came, and they were like, oh, we love your band, like we're from Dublin, like we think you're the sickest shit. And I was just like, fuck yeah, cool. And so like the next day, Sam and Kent came and hung out with me. They like picked me up from my house, and it was the first time we ever hung out. And so Kent plugs in his phone into his car, and he had made a Guitar Pro like tab, like a MIDI guitar tab.
Oh my gosh!
Version of one of our songs. I'm like, oh fuck! And we needed a bass player, so Kent started playing bass for us and stuff. So yeah, that's like how I met those dudes, and that's how I started hanging out with them. And like they were the only people that I hung out with. Like I wasn't friends with anybody that I really went to like high school with. I was friends with like a couple people, but like I was like I very much hated high school. I very much hated living in Pleasanton, and I totally resented it. I was just like a really angsty teenager,
So they were going to Dublin High?
Yeah, they went to Dublin High. I went to Foothill in Pleasanton, but like, yeah, we existed like right next to each other for like several years before we knew of each other's existence, But so yeah, in 2000, I guess it must have been 2010, Kent joined Last Year's Best, and I joined the American Legal System playing guitar. And then at the time, it was Sam Kless on drums, Ben Gower on bass, Kent on mostly acoustic guitar and vocals, and then I played like lead guitar. And then, we were doing the thing. At a certain point, my brother started playing drums for us because, like, Sam was not a good drummer at the time. Sam's, like, a pretty good drummer these days, but, like, he was, like, a really bad drummer at the time. So my brother, who was, like, this really, like, technically proficient, like, he was, like, into metal and stuff and playing to click tracks and stuff, he started playing drums, and we went and recorded at Panda, and then we had like a falling out with Sam, and that band broke up, and I didn't really talk. I wasn't really friends with Sam for a couple years. Not for a couple years. I guess it was probably like 6 months to a year. But in that time, after the American Legal System like broke up, Sam. So in 2011, the American Legal System played the Dublin High Battle of the Bands, and it was really funny because there was like 4 or 5 bands played, but only like 2 of them were from Dublin High. So it was really weird. But so we played the Battle of the Bands that year, and then the next year, because the band had broken up, Sam started. You might have heard about this at this point. This is like some early Just Friends history, but Sam started a band called Sam Claus Nation. Hashtag Sam Claus Nation.
I've heard of hashtag Sam Claus Nation, but I didn't know it was a band.
Yeah, it was a band, and I think they only played like that one show, maybe 2 shows under that name. But it was like Sam and Kent played bass, and Ovi played trumpet, I think. Sean Kenny, who was the original drummer in Just Friends, was the drummer in that, and yeah, it was nuts. I think my cousin Aaron played guitar for them or something. I don't know. It was a really. I wasn't really like there at the time. I wasn't, I mean, like I wasn't really chilling with Sam, but probably by like the middle of 2012, like me and Sam were friends again. And the American Legal System ended up playing like a couple more shows throughout the years, and there's like YouTube videos of us playing like house shows and stuff. But that was really kind of like the end of that band. And then in 2013, so 2013 there was Matt Berry had a band called Chill Pill, and that was
Chill Pill.
Yeah. So that was Matt Berry, and that was Josh, and that was Maya, and then Chill Pill broke up. And at the same time, like, Just Friends was kind of starting, and I was just, like, kind of like, oh, whatever, like, I wasn't really, like, that into it. And also I was, like, kind of, like, still on, like, iffy terms with Sam. Like, we were cool, but, like, I wasn't, like, hanging out with him all the time, Yeah. But so, Just Friends had started being a band, and Chill Pill had started being a band, and then Chill Pill broke up. And there was a couple Chill Pill songs that Matt had left, so he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I want to take these couple of songs and start a new band." And he's like, "I want you to play guitar, and then I'm going to have Sam Cruz and Mikey, Sam Cruz was in a band called Hella Down, and they were real garbage, like pop punk. And Mikey, I don't know if Mikey was ever in the band, but Mikey was like his best friend. And they were in a band called Casket." Not the Casket from Southern California, but they were I don't really know how to describe them. They kind of were like a more emo title fight worship type of thing. And Sam Cruz, if he ever hears this, will probably kill me for saying that, but like those riffs sounded like title fight, like it was title fight worship,
Is Sam also in Never Young?
Sam was in Never Young.
Okay.
He had a falling out with them. Real talk. They kicked him out actually, and then
what is he playing in now? I feel like I saw something.
Sam is in a lot of stuff. So
okay.
The main point being, so Matt Berry comes to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to start this band with Sam and Mikey," and I was like, "Cool." And it was like, "All right, cool. Like we're called Happy Diving." So that's how Happy Diving started, and we went and we recorded with Jack Shirley at the Atomic Garden, and that was awesome. And that band, everything Happy Diving ever did was done with Jack Shirley. And that's awesome. I can't recommend Jack enough. Obviously, he's
been producing so many people lately.
So many bands, and it's so good. And he's just a genuinely awesome dude. The studio is awesome. He's just super easy to work with. So I can't say enough good stuff about him. And the experience there was really, really, really cool. So Happy Diving started, and then around the time, so Happy Diving started playing shows, and obviously the whole squad, the Valley crew, we started playing with Just Friends. And Happy Diving played this place in Berkeley that only did a couple, I think they maybe did 5 or 6 shows. It was in the basement
I know what you're about to say. Yes.
Yeah, at the Butter Dungeon.
The Butter Dungeon. I knew a couple people playing shows there, and I think I tried to book either my band or someone else I knew's band there.
That place has a really special place in my heart because that is the first time it was Happy Diving and Just Friends and Zissou.
Oh my gosh. Now, later known as Kuroshi Boy, now known as Casual Friday.
Yeah, so that's the first time I met Zach and Evan and Vaughn, who were obviously my very good friends, and we've been super tight with them now for 5 years,
Yeah.
But yeah, they threw some early Just Friends shows, in Corona at whatever that what was that place called? Sinbad's or whatever?
Yeah, Sinbad's. It was like a hookah lounge, right?
Well, there was a spot, Maya's Cafe.
There was also Maya's Cafe in Riverside.
I think. So I played one show at Sinbad's, but yeah, the Maya shows were done by the time that I joined the band. But so yeah, Happy Diving played the show in the Butter Dungeon with Just Friends and Zissou, and after that show, I was like, Sam, like I have to play guitar in Just Friends. Like I got it at that point. You know, I had seen them before, and I was like, this is cool. Like Sam gets people hyped, and you know, he was doing his thing that he does now. Even back then, and I was just like, cool. But we played the show with them at the Butter Dungeon after that. Brandon was the only guitarist at the time, and I was just like, Sam, like, I really want to be in this band. Like, this is sick. Like, I fuck with it. Like, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm in. Like, let me be in. So I joined Just Friends at some point in, like, early 2014. I was in... I stopped being in Happy Diving at like the beginning of 2015. I just kind of, I loved that band. I loved the music, but I didn't have like a great time being in the band, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, I guess going into it, like I had certain expectations of like how a band should be and stuff. And that band, frankly, is like, it's Matt's band, you know what I mean? Like he writes the music, he was like the creative vision, and you know, it was his band. He like did in the same way that Just Friends is Sam's band, you know, and Sam, you know what I mean, is kind of like the band leader or whatever.
Definitely, yeah. Were you like on the So Bunted 7-inch that Happy Diving did?
Yeah. So I'm on.
Is that like one of the last things then?
Yeah, regarding Happy Diving, I was on the first EP that we did, the cassette that Father Daughter put out, and then I was on Big World, and then I was on So Bunted.
Okay.
I was not on the second record, but
Electric Soul Unit.
Yeah. But I love that record. It's awesome.
Here is So Bunted by Happy Diving.
So were you touring with Happy Diving around this time?
So that's the thing. I only ever did. So what happened was I joined Just Friends in 2014, and that is when they did a tour. It was them and Kill the Bats.
Oh wow, yeah.
And they had like 13 people in one van. They had both bands in one van, and they had Stick Up Kids trailer, and they did like, you know, like a 2-week-long West Coast. And that happened, and Happy Diving was also doing like a week-long like West Coast at the same time, and I had just gotten a new job, so like I wasn't able to go on those tours. And honestly, the only touring I ever did with Happy Diving was we did we played like a bunch of shows in the Bay and stuff, but only tour dates I did, we did like 3 days with California X. And that was sick. We played, where did we play? We played San Diego. We played LA, and we played, there's one more show, I don't remember. But it was just like a little 3-day like Southern California thing with California X. That was really cool. But that's actually the only touring I ever did with Happy Diving.
So you didn't really get into doing like longer tours until
no, well, because that's the thing. Like around the time that Happy Diving started doing tours was when I was like really getting into Just Friends, you know. And Just Friends for me, like part of the reason I was like I have to join this band is because, you know, it was like all of my friends and like everybody I got along with and like wanted to hang out with, and it was just fun, you know. For me, Happy Diving wasn't as fun, you know. Like it was fun, but it wasn't like all of my best friends just, you know, chilling, like doing stupid shit, you know? Yeah. You know, like we went to TJ, we went to Tijuana, you know, like we fucked up all kinds of shit, in Just Friends. Like we still do. We chill way too hard. But yeah, so I kind of prioritized Just Friends over Happy Diving in 2014. And then 2015, that's when Matt moved up to Seattle. So the band, you know, stopped playing as regularly. Yeah, I mean that's that, and that was kind of just like I just kind of like, you know, there was no more communication with the band for me at that point.
Now Matt has a new band called The Berries, and you're still playing in Just Friends.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing with Just Friends the last couple of years? You guys have actually been like hitting some bigger tours. You've been around the country. So
Just Friends is really cool because I joined Just Friends in 2014. You know, we started playing a bunch of shows and stuff, and then we did that. We put out Rock to the Rhythm, and we did that full US in 2015. And then, you know, like within like a couple months after us getting back from that full US, I moved to Philadelphia. So that kind of like threw a wrench in it, sort of. But, you know, they continued playing shows and writing music and stuff. And obviously it went kind of slow because I live in Philly and Chris Palowich lives in Miami. So, you know, Chris, I would say, is a much bigger part of that band than I am. Like I play guitar. Like I don't really write much of the music, you know. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's hard when, and Ovi lives in Seattle now and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard when your band is like all over the place. But yeah, so we did that tour. I moved to Philly, and I made it clear. I was like, you know, like I want to still be in the band and stuff. I want to play shows when I can and record and stuff. And so, you know, over the past couple of years, Sam and everybody wrote, you know, Nothing But Love.
The new record.
Which
highly anticipated.
Almost done. Almost done.
It's getting there, from what I hear. Yeah.
I got some bounces last night, and it sounded pretty good. I recorded like some DI guitar tracks, and we're gonna send them to Ryan. He's gonna like reamp them all and do all that sort of stuff. There's some dumbass sketches and stuff that are gonna be on. It's really, there's one of them I think is already done, I guess.
Nice.
It was actually one of the first things that was finished for the record. Before any of the music was recorded, they made this. You'll hear it one day. But yeah, so Just Friends is a transcontinental rock band. And you know, we're doing it. We're doing it live. We're doing it big. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not really super involved in like the administration of the band. Like that would be a better conversation with Sam. But I can say, new record will be out by the summer
2018. It's the year, baby.
There's going to be a tour. Are you guys
going to do any more touring? Are you going to be on those tours?
There's going to be a tour. I'm going to be on the tour. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's the thing. Like we did the East Coast tour in April. We did the 420 tour. Yeah. With Prince Daddy and Oso, and that was sick. And that was the first, like, I guess it was. Yeah, that was the only real touring I've done with them. No, well actually no, because I flew back. In 2016, I flew back for a couple weeks in the summer, and that's when we did that VLHS show that's on YouTube, and it was that Tough Stuff last show, right?
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. So
and then did you guys like drive to Portland the next night or something?
No, that was
a different thing. Okay.
Whew. Yeah, that was no, that was oh my god, no, that was the first night of the Full US that we did in 2015. We played. Was that Tough Stuff's last show? I don't remember.
No, that would have been their record release.
Yeah, that's what it was. You're right. It was their record release. So we weren't supposed to play that show. And we got added onto that show. And we're like, fuck it, we're going to do this. So we played VLHS that night, and then we played our set, and we chilled for like half an hour, and then we drove 23 hours to Portland.
Yep, I remember that.
The very next night.
I know someone else who was planning on doing that in February, and I told them that they're crazy.
That was a difficult drive. That whole tour was really difficult. There was like a lot of high points and a lot of low points on that tour. I mean, like obviously when any band does like their first big, full thing that's like 5-6 weeks or whatever, like there's going to be some hiccups and stuff.
We definitely had
we had our fair share. So,
well, so let's get into some questions here about being on the road and about eating food on the road. But let's start at home with the best burrito in the Bay Area. This is a tough question, but I figured we'd come out hitting hard.
Man, all right, so the best. Well, it depends.
Or the one that you like the best. It doesn't have to be
the one that I
best.
like the best. All right, I'll give you like top 3. How about that?
That's great. No, this gives us more options for eating in the future.
I don't think I can like just like down just one. So obviously there's a lot of burritos that I have not had in the Bay Area. There's a lot of Mexican food in the Bay Area. And I've not had the pleasure of eating at every taqueria. And I haven't lived there in 3 years, so cut me some slack. But top 3 in no particular order. Farolito. Particularly, I mean, there's 2 in the Mission, I think, but I grew up going to the one in Concord because I worked at Guitar Center in Concord for 3 years, and that was the lunch move of most days was we went to Farolito, or we went to a place called La Plaza in Concord,
or move.
We went to Los Gallos a bunch. But yeah, so Farolito, Angelou's, and El Abuelo. Angelou's and El Abuelo are both in San Jose. El Abuelo is Jake Margot's spot, so shout out to Jake.
Hey.
Absolutely the best chicken I've ever had.
Really?
Like, chicken burrito, yeah. Generally my burrito move is Pastor. I'm a big Pastor fan.
Me too. I love Pastor.
Or when I'm in Southern California, because you can't get it in Northern California, but when I'm in SoCal, you got to get Adobada at fucking, what's that spot that we go to?
Albertacos?
Yeah, at Albertacos, yeah. Yeah. Where is that? Is it in Santa Ana?
The one we go to is in Orange. That's the one I've been at with you. There's a couple of them in Southern California. The other one actually is down in Mission Viejo by where my parents live, which is great. And that one is even cheaper than the one in Orange. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the Albertacos. All of Southern California Mexican food is like so cheap, and I don't understand how they do it. But I've had a lot of long conversations with Kent in particular about this. It's like the yellow paper, it's just a different vibe. You have like 3 ingredients in the carne asada burrito. Carne asada, you have like pico, and you have guacamole or avocado. Like that's it. Like there's no beans, there's no rice, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so that's what I would say. I would say Farolito, Angelou's, El Abuelo. So.
Well, that is a good segue, because speaking of Angelou's, let's talk about orange sauce.
All right.
Orange sauce. San Jose thing. Not many people have heard of it. I've mentioned it to people on tour, and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
people in Southern California have no idea what you're talking about. I had no idea until I went to San Jose and someone showed me. So,
shout out to Bob, because Bob's making it, dude.
Bob, I want to try his so bad.
I do too. I'm trying to get him to mail me some. I actually haven't had a conversation with him.
Bob is in Southern California now, and I am in Southern California, and I'm trying. I've talked to Ralph from Ralph's Tacos about this too. He says it's really good, and he says Bob has given some in the past.
I want to take a moment to shout out Ralph's Tacos, because like
we're gonna have a lot of Ralph's shout-outs on this show. I'm stoked about it. I should just interview Ralph at some point, honestly.
Honestly, you should. I would love to know more about him.
We tried to do a filmed like Christmas like food segment with him for like this TV show idea I had, and we went to his apartment and he made like food, but like then the it didn't happen, but it was awesome,
Yeah.
and he cooked for me, and it was delicious.
Yeah. So big shout out. But yeah, so orange sauce, man. It's
Angelou's or Levic's?
Angelou's, man.
Okay.
La Vic is like a classic. And Sam went to San Jose State for a semester, and Kent went to San Jose State for 5 years, I think, actually. Graduated San Jose State. So, you know, especially in like the early days of me hanging out with them, like, we were at La Vic a lot. Sidebar, I would just like to say, I don't fuck with iguanas at all. Fuck iguanas forever. But yeah, I mean, La Vic is like classic because they're. I honestly don't know the history. I'm not from San Jose. My dad's from San Jose, so. But like, I'm not going to claim to be like an orange sauce historian. But I think that Angelou's is basically La Vic, but cleaner and better in every way possible. Not to like trash La Vic. I love La Vic.
That's a fair assessment.
But I think
last time I was in San Jose, we went to Angelou's.
Yeah, Angelou's is just basically like a cleaner, better quality La Vic. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Dang, that's a tough one. I guess the last tour when I went through San Jose, I bought a bottle from Angelou's, and I had it with me the entire tour. It was like a winter tour up to like Seattle and back.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I put it on every burrito and every like bit of Mexican food I got anywhere else in like the whole West Coast, and it made everything better. It made all the like kind of bland Mexican food you get up in the Pacific Northwest. Like, it made it better for sure.
Totally. Also, shout out to Randy Moore, because I was in last time I was in California, which was in October. I was only in the Bay for a couple days. My grandpa passed away, so you know, we were I hadn't seen my family in like 2 years. So,
oh man,
you know, when that happened, I was like, all right, I gotta go home for a second and just like deal with some family stuff. So, but I was there for like 4 days or 5 days or something. And Sam Claus picks me up from SFO, hands me a Tecate in the car, which we call a road soda.
Oh, I love road soda.
And we went straight to the Mission and got Farolito. So, but yeah, on that same trip, I saw Randy for like maybe an hour, and Randy got off of work and like came straight to Sam's house and brought me a La Vic burrito and a bottle of orange sauce. So I tried to use like as much of it as I could within like that very short window.
Yeah, what a hero.
It was, yeah, it was nuts.
So, have you ever had a South Philly taco? Can you explain that for people?
Okay, so I can explain the South Philly taco. The South Philly taco is pretty much, I think anybody that lives in Philadelphia will tell you that it is just an internet thing, and it is not like a thing that people from Philadelphia do. But a South Philly taco is, you go to South Street, and South Street, when I first moved to Philly, like the closest thing that I could like compare South Street to is like being on Telegraph in Berkeley. Like, there's a lot of like,
yeah, it definitely has that.
A lot of smoke shops and like sex shops and bars and, you know, like cell phone, like used electronic places and stuff. Like, just very like, you know, kind of tourist trappy. Like, yeah, very eclectic. You know, like the TLA, the Theater of the Living Arts, really cool venue, is down there. But Jim's is like one of the more famous like cheesesteak places. You've got like Pat's and Geno's, which are the two that are directly across from each other, and they both fucking suck. They're garbage. I'm pretty sure they're both racist, and like both of them get dinged on like their health inspections for having mold and shit in the ice. Like, it's bad. Fuck those places. Don't ever go there. Jim's is one that is pretty hyped, but to me it's worth the hype. I think it's great. It's my favorite out of like the big cheesesteaks in Philly. But so the South Philly tacos, you go to Jim's and you get a Jim's cheesesteak, and then you go to Lorenzo's like a block down, and you get one of their giant slices, and it's, you know, it's like a 1.5 foot long slice.
Oh yeah, I had one of those. My buddy lived in an apartment like right above Lorenzo's.
Yeah, I've actually never had it. I've heard mixed reviews. But yeah, so the South Philly tacos, you take a whole Jim's cheesesteak and you wrap it up in a Lorenzo's slice and you eat it. I mean,
yeah, you know, those ridiculous internet things.
I would probably do it, but like
if I lived in Philly, I might try it. I might try and do it like once.
mean, like,
I did have the
just
gigantic slice of pizza. I did do that, and that was very worth it. That was very worth it.
But man, like, so my whole thing is just like Philly pizza is like a thing, I guess. Like Philly style pizza is,
really?
I guess, a thing.
No one really told me about that in Philly.
I mean, there's pizza places like on every corner. Pizza in Philadelphia is fucking garbage. It sucks. It's really bad, and we're like so close to New York and New Jersey, where like the best pizza in the United States is. And yeah, I mean that's probably a statement that I might catch some flack for, but New Jersey has great pizza.
So what other regional delicacies have you discovered being in Philly now for 3 years? You said.
It'll be 3 years. It's just over 2 years at this point, but at the end of 2018, it'll be 3 years. Man, let me think. I mean, there's
even
honestly
local
there's a lot.
restaurants and places people should check out.
I mean, all right. So cheesesteak spots, gyms. I fuck with if you want to go to like one of the big popular ones. D'Alessandro's.
That's way out. So good.
Yeah, out Manayunk. It's like way out there.
Yep.
That's the spot. If you like go way north Philly, up on like North Broad, Max's. That's another kind of local spot. What else? I'm trying to think.
Have you had water ice?
Yeah, water ice is a thing. Rita's
I didn't get to try that.
Is the water ice is okay. My girlfriend goes to Temple, and there's this guy Sadiq who has it's like a cart. He's got a cart, but he sets up outside of the student center where she used to work and sells water ice. His water ice is fucking good.
There's definitely like a Vice video about that guy. I think I saw.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah. So water ice, it's water ice actually. Is the pronunciation water? Wawa, Wawa is a classic.
Oof. Well, yeah. Let's hold up there for a second. Let's hold up for a second, and let's move to the iconic question: Wawa versus Sheetz.
Man, they are. I am Team Sheetz. The thing is, there are no Sheetz in Philadelphia. The closest Sheetz is like there's one if you start going out like northeastern Pennsylvania, like towards like Scranton and Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, I think that's where we hit our first Sheetz.
There's one like an hour or an hour and a half north of here, and then if you go west, like an hour, like towards like Reading and Lancaster, like that area, like out in like the real shitty parts of Pennsylvania. But yeah, so there's no Sheetz in the Philadelphia area, which is kind of weird, and it's like hard to compare. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because they do such different things. Like the concept is the same. For anybody who doesn't know, both Sheetz and Wawa are convenience stores, and they're generally very well decked out. They've got a ton of stuff, but they both have like fast food in them. And Wawa focuses on hoagies, and Sheetz kind of does more of like your typical like drive-through fast food stuff. They do like cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches and milkshakes and
kind of like fried garbage as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Weird,
basically,
like,
we've equated it. I've described it as like Sheetz is kind of like Wawa's like white trash like pick. You know what I mean? Like, it's like. Yeah, I mean it's the fried Wawa basically.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
why I prefer Sheetz. I don't know. No. Sorry, I need to take that back. That's why I prefer Wawa because like the super friedness of like Sheetz and
yeah,
I don't know. There's something like
Sheetz is like almost
kitschy
gimmicky
about Sheetz almost. I don't know.
Sheetz is definitely almost gimmicky.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say
better deals. You're trying to get a lot of like random junk. You can go to Sheetz and like pile up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, shout out. I got a name drop. Corey Gregory, Prince Daddy. His move, which he taught me, he enlightened me, and now whenever I go to Sheetz, it is my move. You get the fried appetizer sampler, and you get three of their like deep fried appetizers.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And you ball out. So you get cheese sticks, you get mozzarella sticks, you get the mac and cheese bites, and then you also get the Wisconsin cheese curds. And then
so
pick your sauce, right? So Sheetz has Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce.
Oh shoot! I think I remember seeing that. That's right.
It's weird. It's weird because like you
they do
eat
that.
it
Some like
barbecue sauce, but you get the aftertaste of Dr. Pepper, and for some reason it works. And for some reason you dip your mozzarella sticks in it, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!"
Whoa! Holy moly!
So yeah, thank you, Corey, for teaching me about that one.
I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to Prince Daddy guys. Like they are road warriors. They know how to do.
Dude. Oh my god.
Them in California.
Corey can tell you about his McGriddle, like his concoctions that he comes up with. He's nutty. Like hash brown on the McGriddle, like no sauce. Like he gets like egg McGriddle and puts a hash brown on it. Like they come up with some weird stuff.
Dude, the guys in California Cousins were like trying to tell me like, oh yeah, like there's a little trick you can do at certain Wawas and Sheetz where you don't even have to pay. Now we won't go into that here, but there's all sorts of tips and tricks at gas stations and fast food places if you're recombining menu items and things like that.
Right, totally. So, getting back to the Sheetz versus Wawa thing, though, there's a Wawa that's pretty close to me, Port Richmond Wawa. Anybody who is from Philadelphia will know the Port Richmond Wawa, Aramingo, and what is that? Aramingo and Girard. So, The pretzels, like the Philly pretzel that you get at Wawa, like it's such a classic move.
Yes, like I wish we had them out here.
I don't know. So yeah, it's hard for me to pick between the two. Like they both have their, you know what I mean, their place.
You know what they both have? They both have birch beer, and I love birch beer. That is something that is a lot harder to find outside of Pennsylvania.
True. I haven't personally noticed that. Like I don't really seek out birch beer, but yeah, I mean I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah.
So, what is the best meal you've ever had on tour?
Oh, Jesus. That's a hard one.
It is.
I mean, it kind of depends on what type of food, I guess, you're looking at. Like, I mean...
Something extremely memorable and unique. Something that you weren't going to find anywhere else.
First time we were in Louisiana, I don't know where we went, but we went to some place, and got like gumbo and fucking, had like fried alligator and stuff. That was a memorable one. Cafe Du Monde, getting those beignets and stuff. That was a life-changing moment. I'm trying to think. That's the thing. Like, obviously, like being on tour, it depends on who you ask, but like, it's a lot of fast food. It's a lot of McDonald's, a lot of Taco Bell, a lot of gas stations.
Yeah, I mean, you see McDonald's and Subway everywhere in this country.
We ate randomly, super randomly. We ate at this place in Des Moines, in Iowa, called Zombie Burger. That place was super, super good. They do like alcoholic milkshakes, and we had a burger. They had a burger where instead of having buns, it had two big bricks of deep fried macaroni.
What? Oh my gosh!
So yeah,
that sounds like something I need to try. I'm gonna write that down. Zombie Burger in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, Beth's in Seattle. They do the 12 egg omelet.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about like best, but there's like a lot of memorable food. Like honestly, like I've had really surprisingly good Mexican food in Salt Lake City, at a place called Mesquite.
Really?
It's just like this tiny little hole in the wall taqueria, and like you look on Yelp, and it has like pretty average, like like 3.5 star reviews or whatever, but it's like a Southern California, you get like a yellow wrapped paper.
Oh, classic,
they have adobada and like stuff that you could only really get in Southern California.
This is good information. I'm going to Salt Lake City in March on tour, so I'm right.
Russ might have some spots. I'm sure Russ probably knows some spots, but.
So I heard that there is a drink at Sonic named after you.
Who told you that?
That's what I heard. That's what the gang told me.
So it's not. I mean, you can't go to Sonic and
I'm not
order.
gonna go down the street and ask for it. No.
Yeah, you can't go ask for a Route 44 Matt Yanko, but a Route 44 a Matt Yanko is. So here's what fucking pissed me off. All right, let me hold on real quick. I gotta put the phone down 1 sec. So for years we would go to Sonic and I would get a cherry orange Sprite, like a Sprite with cherry and orange flavor. And that's my drink. Like, you go to Sonic and they do like the limeade and stuff, but for me the drink, cherry orange Sprite, so good. I got that for years. And then we were on tour in 2015 and we were in Miami. And I remember, I don't know why I remember that, but we were in Miami and we went to this gas station and I'm like looking at the drink cooler and there was like a LeBron James signature Sprite and it was cherry orange Sprite. And I'm like, what? Fuck you. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, you are not doing this to me. I would just like to say I did it first, cherry orange Sprite. You got to go Route 44 because when I lived in California, the closest Sonic was out in Tracy, so you'd have to drive like 40 minutes to get there.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. There was one in Hayward that they ended up building, but the one in Tracy was just like, we would just go there. But yeah, Route 44, Matt Yanko, cherry orange Sprite. Yeah.
So that's wild that you drove all the way out there. There's another thing that was, well, until recently, hard to find in the Bay Area. That is a California staple, and that is my favorite fast food place, Del Taco. So where do you stand on Del Taco versus Taco Bell?
Love Del Taco. That's the thing. So there was 2 Del Tacos in the Bay. I think there is still one out in Antioch, which is like, if you go like, you know, north.
You gotta like follow the Bay Delta.
Yeah, you gotta follow the Delta out east, like towards Sacramento or like towards Stockton. You know, like you go like north out of Concord and then like through Pittsburgh and then into
actually,
Antioch.
One of my upcoming guests is from there.
True.
The bassist of J Som.
Oh, nice, sick. There you go. So yeah, there was the one in Antioch and then there was one in Campbell, down by San Jose, which closed. And I know that people are like, bring it back. I love Del Taco. I fuck super hard with Del Taco. Del Scorcho, I get quesadillas with like, the quesadillas, they do like red or green sauce.
I mean, you can get the red and green sauce in most things.
Like
I know it's a lot of the burritos that you choose between red and green sauce.
You know what? There's also a Del Taco. There's a Del Taco in Newark, I think.
There's right
next to Sam Cruz's house. There's Del Taco.
I heard they had opened one near the airport in Oakland.
Man, I don't know. Yeah,
and supposedly there was one opened up in San Francisco, but I haven't been in the Bay Area. I moved away from the Bay Area in 2013, and at that time there was like very little to no Del Taco options. The Del Taco I went to the most near the Bay Area would have been the one in Davis. And I stopped by there like whenever I went to Sacramento or whenever I was on tour. I went to that Davis Del Taco almost every time I passed it, unless it was closed, because that's one of the few Del Tacos that doesn't stay open 24 hours a day. Super weird. It's in like a college town. I don't know.
Well, Davis
I'm a huge Del Taco
like,
guy.
Davis is Davis. Like, Davis is its own like thing. Yeah, no, I fuck with Del Taco. The cheeseburgers and fries are unbelievable.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, I absolutely fuck with Del Taco. I get it when I can. I had a conversation on Twitter either last night or the night before with Lacey, Zach Miller's girlfriend. Yeah. And she was like, fuck, marry, kill, Alberto's, Del Taco, Taco Bell. And I was just like, all right, because I've never had Alberto, so I was like, all right, how about this? Like, new scenario. Taco Bell, Del Taco, Miguel's Jr. So, yeah, threw them for a loop there. Yeah, I don't, you know, I haven't eaten it enough, like, as much as I've eaten like Taco Bell, you know. But I would, if I had to choose to eat one for the rest of my life, I would probably choose Del Taco just based on my experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't really almost ever go to Taco Bell unless they have some kind of crazy menu item. But
well, dude, you know what?
It bums me out because I miss it when I'm gone from California. I miss Del Taco because I eat it so much.
In Philadelphia, there's not a lot of Mexican food. There's actually more than you might expect, but most of it is really bad. And like, there's like 2 or 3 Taco Bells in town, like within like a reasonable distance from me, and like I don't know, they just like I don't eat there now that I don't live in California. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
there is a place. I will say, I got to shout out. Okay, look, check this out. I really got to shout these people out.
Yeah.
There's this spot on Girard, like, what is it, like 2nd and Girard, underneath the Acme grocery store in Philly. There's this spot called Poncho's Cafe, and it is the best Mexican food I've had in Philly. I would probably rank it like top 10 or 15 best Mexican food I've ever had. Like, definitely not top 10, definitely not top 5, but like it's absolutely the best that I've had in Philly. I think you would be hard pressed to find better Mexican food. But yeah, I just want to say shout out to Poncho's Cafe in Philadelphia.
Hell yeah. Any other underrated snacks or regional cuisine you've had that people might not know about that you either really enjoyed when you visited or you want to go back and have again? There were some places I went to where like I had some amazing food that I would definitely want to go back to and have again, like Rochester.
Probably, like in the South, like anywhere you can get like good barbecue or good, just like soul food. Just eat anywhere in the South. Like just go to any little diner, and you'll find some great food. I often think about Louisiana and like gumbo and like jambalaya and like red beans and stuff. I think about that a lot. Bagels, obviously New York.
Oh my gosh, such amazing bagels in New York.
Surprisingly, I would say best bagel I've ever had in my life. Railroad Bagels in Babylon, New York, way out in Suffolk County, Long Island. Huh. My girlfriend's family all lives. My girlfriend's from Long Island. Yeah, she her family. She's got a couple family members that live in Babylon, just in this little town. Railroad Bagels, one of the best bagels I've ever had in my life.
Damn, that's great.
What else? I don't know, man. Culver's in the Midwest in terms of like fast food. Whataburger.
Culver's
Texas,
is somewhere
obviously.
I did not get to go on tour.
Man, you got it. It's so good. What else? I'm trying to think. I've become a huge. This is obviously not a regional thing, but when I left California, there was no Dunkin'. There's no Dunkin' Donuts anywhere. And when I moved to the East Coast, I just like immediately started drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
It's everywhere on the East Coast. Everywhere.
Yeah. Like there's some Starbuckses and stuff. There's actually a Pete's Coffee, two in Philly maybe. And Whole Foods like sells their coffee beans and stuff. But yeah, dude, Dunkin', like you gotta get some fun stuff. You gotta you get a medium hot regular with turbo shot. Like. You get a large ice with French vanilla swirl sometimes in the summer. Yeah.
See, I don't drink coffee. I feel like this is one of my like big drawbacks when I'm like talking to people, like going to different towns or like on tours. Like everyone drinks coffee. Everyone talks about coffee. Everyone's like, oh, where's a coffee house? We want to go to the local coffee place in this town. And I'm just like, sounds cool. I'll hang out, but I'll probably be outside smoking.
Yeah, and some people are really like Kelly and Nat from I'm Glad It's You. Like I think maybe TJ and Evan too, but I think it's mostly Kelly and Matt. But like they're super into like their like nice like bougie coffee. Like the fucking like micro. I don't know what
French
to
press,
call
pour overs, all that jazz.
Yeah, like craft coffee.
We had a barista on tour with us when I was touring this summer, and so we went to a bunch of different places, and they were highly critical of many things, but also they found great coffee for the crew because they knew what was up.
True, and I can get down with some of that stuff sometimes. Like they went to Reanimator and they went to Grindcore House and stuff, like real important Philly spots. But like, man, give me some fucking Dunkin' with a bunch of sugar and shit in it. Like that's my shit,
I'm all about the yerba mate, man. I drank a ton of yerba mate, but like it was hard to find on tour, and I found it in New York, and I was like almost in tears.
You gotta go to Whole Foods. Whole Foods sells the fuck out of yerba mate.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've tried to get into the mate life. I can't do it. Sam Sam Class is all about the Revelberry.
Really?
I know some people that stand by the mint one.
I'm a mint guy, but I mean that's because like I like menthol cigarettes also, so I just like mint in general.
Yeah, I like the sparkling. I kind of the sparkling ones are okay. Like the ones that come in a little can.
I'm forced to. Oh, I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind honestly, them, but like, I would just rather have the real ones. Like I love sparkling drinks. I love sparkling water. Like I'm a huge fan of sparkling water.
If I'm not drinking coffee or Red Bull, it's like probably green tea. Like.
Yeah, I mean, well, yerba mate is a tea technically, but
I know. I'm all about it. Regular ass green tea, like.
But I'm also all about sparkling water, like the Topo Chicos and LaCroix of the world are like, my favorites. I don't know if you like sparkling water or soda, but like, I don't really do soda anymore.
I like soda. I don't drink it often. That's like something I definitely like actively try to stay away from for obvious reasons. But yeah, I don't really miss the carbonation that much. Not drink. I drink a lot of, honestly, like I drink a lot of Arnold Palmer. Like I drink.
I love Arnold Palmer.
I'm drinking a Joe T half and half. I make the absolute world's best Arnold Palmer in and out.
Oh really? Oh man.
Oh, let me real quick.
I'll give you my Arnold Palmer thing because I'm a huge fan. Like that's.
I'll give you my Arnold Palmer
recipe. Family, like I get an Arnold Palmer because I don't like getting alcoholic drinks with my family.
Here's how you do it. You go to In-N-Out. You get your cup. Put a little ice in it. You fill it like halfway with iced tea, right? You fill it almost to the top from there with the pink lemonade. Never the fountain stuff. Always the pink lemonade. And then just hit it with a little more tea at the top.
Yeah.
And then squeeze 2 lemons into it and stir that shit up. 2 lemons. Two little lemon wedges. It's very important. People always miss out on, because to me the best Arnold Palmer is with lemon tea.
Okay. Yeah.
Lemon tea and lemonade. Like that's how you get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because sometimes you're just like your regular brewed black tea is like too.
No. Yeah.
Earthy,
definitely. Well,
too earthy.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, so you just gotta hit it with that little bit of lemon.
Okay. Yeah. See, I've been experimenting with different like flavored teas going into my lemonade, because like you go to like Pickup Sticks and they got like their mango passion fruit iced tea, and it's like that might make a pretty sick Arnold Palmer. Or like if I go to like Raisin Cane's, like they ask if you want sweet or unsweet tea, and
sure,
I gotta like choose sometimes because I don't have a go-to for that. I like to vary it. The Arnold Palmer is a great drink.
Yeah,
great drink.
I was actually raised on unsweetened iced tea, like Lipton iced tea. My dad drinks it, and I just like, even way before coffee, like I would order iced tea when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Like we go out to like eat, you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't do sweet tea. I'll drink Arnold Palmer, but like I don't do sweet tea. I don't do like ginseng Arizona or any of that sort of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, this has been a really great talk. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of great ground.
Definitely rambled quite a bit.
I definitely have some good recommendations to check out when I'm out on the road. And I can't wait to see you again so you can make me one of those Arnold Palmers.
Real quick. Okay, oh my God, hold on. Before we finish, I want to say I forgot. I was thinking about what spots I had to shout out while I was in the shower this morning.
Yeah, let's end it with shout-outs. That's a good way.
Okay, so I think I don't know if it's even still there. But, so, my girlfriend, a lot of her family on her mom's side actually lives on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And she has this friend, August, I think is their name. And August's family owns a little burrito shop in the back of a gas station convenience store in this tiny ass town called Marston's Mills on Cape Cod. And like, it is the most hole in the wall fucking place you could ever find. It's called Burrito Loco. And ask anybody in Just Friends, we've eaten there several times. it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good this burrito place is in the back of the convenience store. There's no signs or anything. You just go into the back of the convenience store, past like the drink coolers and past the chips, and just there's a kitchen in the back of it, and it's like, what the fuck? So Burrito Loco, Marston's Mills, Massachusetts, Cape Cod. What the fuck? It's so good.
Wow, that sounds like a legendary spot.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. I'm so glad that I remembered. So I had to close it out with that one.
That's a great way to close it. Cape Cod, that's the other side of the country from where I'm at right now. But someday, hopefully I'll make it there. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate you coming out, talking to me for a while. And I'll see you soon, dude. Bye.
Yeah, baby. God bless. Love you.
And there you have it. That was my conversation with Matt Yankovich of Just Friends and Happy Diving. Just Friends have a new record coming out in June called Nothing But Love, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be my album of the year. It comes out on Counterintuitive Records, and you can also catch Just Friends hitting the road and going over to the East Coast with The Graduating Life. Thanks again to Matt, and thanks to you for making it this far in the podcast. If you enjoyed this, we're going to be putting up a second episode this week for our podcast premiere extravaganza. You can like our page on Facebook, or you can follow me on Twitter. Just search up the Heavy Snacking Podcast or at HeavySnackingPC. Subscribe or tell a friend. We got more cool stuff coming up. And if you or a band you work with want to be on the show, you've done a lot of touring, send an email over to HeavySnackingPodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to email me if you got any questions, comments, concerns. I'm open to suggestions, trying to make it as good as possible. So tune in next time when I talk to Dylan Allard, the bassist of Jay Som, the guitarist of Freak No Hitter. Thanks y'all for listening. Here's some Chill Pill to play you out.
For myself, it's a losing streak. How I fall off the deep end when I hear you say that I'm doing it wrong again. My never-ending helpless attitude causes distress in the lives of my loving friends.
Thank you for listening to the Heavy Snacking Podcast, and keep snacking.